Good afternoon. This is Rich Nelson with Allendale covering the wrap-up commodity comments. Today is Wednesday. This is November 30th here of 2011. End of the month trade here today. And, of course, as Paul mentioned this morning, we did have big news here to speak of this morning. Of course, the concerted central bank efforts to make it cheaper to borrow and lend the U.S. dollar to banks and countries in need certainly was considered a positive sign here today. Also on top of that, the central bank actions taken by China are certainly good news. But we got some different viewpoints here on these actions. Were these simply good news type of moves, or were these in reaction to things being a little worse on the economy side throughout the world than what the trade was thinking here? So for right now, we must say this was good news this morning and the overnight discussions, but obviously right now it's not quite a complete done job here yet on getting this market turned around here. Of course, one big thing still holding out right now as far as these grains is this export sales issue here, and certainly corn being the prime issue as far as that discussion. With these corn sales, keep in mind, while we did have good numbers out here today for the outside market-based factors, we're still waiting on tomorrow morning's weekly export sales report. This is the one where we're going to have some average prices for corn being quite cheaper than the previous 3 to 4 weeks. So hopefully we will see some export sales numbers which show some response. Allendale computes that if tomorrow morning's number is 500,000 tons or higher for corn, for the old crop sales portion of the numbers, then that will be certainly a good surprise and will show that lower prices are stimulating demand here. In other news, we will point out that ethanol production, as far as every Wednesday morning, we get weekly ethanol production numbers here. 930,000 tons, or 930,000 barrels per day was the pace for last week. This is the best pace we can speak of in almost a full year. Year to date, so September 1st to current, we're running a very large 2.4% surplus in ethanol production over last year's pace. So certainly good news on this end. Of course, we do have most of these producers are trying to cram as much production in right now in December before the subsidy expires here at the end of the month. So for right now, we will say that this ethanol number was good, 930,000 barrels per day. That was the pace for last week, the best we can speak of in almost a full year. But overall, corn up 2.5, beans up 9, and wheat up 11. Those are last trades, not settlements. And as we said before, we've got to wait on export sales, which are out tomorrow morning, before we can say that this market may have a moderate rebound in the coming weeks. Also keep in mind, first notice day here was today. We do have some deliveries, which will be, we can tender for delivery, I should speak of, on the December contracts. We really don't expect any major numbers or any bearish influence from big deliveries, certainly on corn, soybeans, or wheat. Numbers may be a little pressured on soybean oil. As far as livestock, we can speak of cattle having a strong $1.15 rally today on the February contract. We, of course, will speak of outside markets being a key issue, a stronger stock market, also a lower U.S. dollar. Those certainly supported cattle here today. We also have hopes for this storm coming on Saturday, hitting portions of the plains. Of course, Colorado and western Kansas may provide some support. Keep in mind, we always have about 2 or 3 snowstorms throughout each winter, which provide a strong incentive for rallying prices for maybe a 2 to 4 day run. If the storm is severe enough, we can actually cause damage to production and set back quite a bit on weight gains, and it could be a longer-term supportive thing here as well. So while we have this good news going on for the short term, keep in mind that this week's wholesale beef price movement has been weakening, as it seasonally does in the month of September, or in the month of December. So keep in mind for right now, this is good news to speak of, this outside market issue, stronger stock market, and potential storm. We do expect prices to stay strong going into Friday. However, as I said before, seasonally, December is not a bullish month for cattle. Over on hogs, up 37 cents as far as the February contract. We did have, of course, the outside markets being a good issue here for us. On top of that, we've got the Chinese central bank moves, possibly stimulating their economy. And, of course, for pork, China is certainly a very hot-button issue and the key market decider for exports for us. As far as other news we can speak of, cash hogs are still continuing their normal run higher, which will happen and will continue about another week and a half from now as well. So certainly cash hogs are helping to support this market a little bit right now as well. So overall, certainly a better day as far as prices for both grains and livestock. As I said before, we can't call this news on the central bank movements to be a bottoming type of news story here for us on grains, but it is something we will be watching closely. We will be covering these issues more in depth, certainly at the conference coming up in January. If you don't know more about it, please feel free to give us a call here at Allendale, 1-800-262-7538, or check out that website. We have a whole section detailed on the conference itself, and our website is Allendale, so that's ALLENDALE-INC.com. This is Rich Nelson. Have a good trading day and a good trading week.